Hello. Good Wednesday morning, everyone, and a little change of scenery here. I am in my office today, so it's not couch time with Jen as the weekly live. That being said, it's actually been a couple weeks since we've done a weekly live just because of scheduling difficulties. Mostly because I had some appointments, like a dentist appointment. I got my teeth cleaned, so they're all nice and sparkly. Um, However, the day got away from me, and I was intentionally moving the call to later in the day, and then things happened. So that's life. I'm human, and it happens. So I apologize profusely for that. But what we're going to do today is just kind of double up on both of the week's calls so that we can talk about both. Um, so last week's intention for the call was we were going to be talking about um, feeling safe in your nervous system, self doubt, and actually what the power of decision is. So, first, let's talk about self doubt. And so, when we're staying in this kind of in between state where decisions, like we're trying to decide on something. Like we don't know if this way's the right way or if that way's the right way. And if we go in either direction, if it's just going to turn out into be this like disastrous thing, which actually keeps us in sort of this analysis paralysis sort of thing. So your nervous system, like when you're hanging out in that indecision, your nervous system, it feels unsafe. You're actually creating more unsafety inside of your nervous system. And basically, your nervous system is designed to constantly scan and ask, am I safe here? Are we okay? What'll happen if I choose the wrong route? And uncertainty adds its own kind of stress. So the longer that you stay here, and the louder the alarm gets, and it's not because you're broken, right? Like or bad at choosing, but it's because your system is interpreting an action as instability. So it reads this freeze as dangerous. And it also is reading the unknown as dangerous. So the best thing you can do is actually the best that you can do is just make a decision, even if it's a small decision. Like it's actually what strengthens, um, you know, strengthens that safety inside of your body. So, um, indecision in and of itself, it's it's the body's way of saying, I don't trust myself to survive what comes next. So every moment, every day, every minute that you delay something is your body, it's saying in the body that um like it's teaching your nervous system the story that I'm not going to survive this. So that's why chronic second guessing feels so exhausting and taxing, and like it's a huge energy leak. That's why you're not just thinking like two options, like you're living the survival stress of both options at once. So, do you see how this kind of gets really, really frustrating and really exhausting? So, every possible outcome is running through your mind. You're looking at every single scenario. Is basically like, I think about Doctor Strange in one of the, I don't remember which Marvel movie it was, but like the one where he's looking at all the possible outcomes and his like head is like doing this thing, and like he's analyzing, and he's all like, there is no way that we win this. This is no way that we survive this, right? So every possible outcome, it's fighting for like this airtime inside of your brain, inside of your mind. And so your brain, it can only process so much uncertainty before it basically just overwhelms itself and you end up in fatigue. So like think about the worriers. Like the worry, you can I actually was just on a metabolic and thyroid call yesterday, and the woman the doctor that I was listening to was talking about this, that actually a lot of diseases, um, Hashimoto's, hyperthyroid, hyperglycemia, all of these things stem a lot from, cortisol rises. Yes, sugar, but also cortisol rises from not just stress from work, not just stress from like day to day, I can't even talk, day to day life, but it's from stress that we're causing our bodies from worrying. From worrying. Like, how much do we think about all the possible outcomes of something and stress over what the possible result might be and the outcome, and blah 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 blah. Like, we're living in this, we're creating this constant tension inside of our bodies, which actually affects our hormones and our endocrine system, and even our blood. So when I talk about how emotions and how like traumas and stuckness and energies and all this stuff, like, it all comes down to this. It all comes down to this in our nervous system, like our mind and our nervous system. All this stuff stems from this. So when you start to work on this crosses across all areas of life. This is where regulation comes in. A regulated body doesn't need the illusion of everything being perfect, the decision being perfect, that, everything works out for our greatest and highest good to move forward, right? Like, it trusts it can handle whatever outcome comes next, whatever comes your way. I choose a wrong decision and I will still survive. I will still, like, I can squander all my money and, be homeless and live in a box, and I will still have something and be able to live another day. Now, that's going to the way extreme, but, like, I fully know that I wouldn't be actually living in a box, because if anything, my mom would step in and be like, all right, come over here. But, like, this is the outcomes that we run in our mind. Like, we think that we're going to, like, this decision is going to mean death. That, this outcome could mean death. And that's exactly how it feels in our nervous system, exactly how it feels in our body. So when you're regulated, those decisions become easier. They become clean. And it's not because you suddenly know everything. You know exactly, like, you can see into the future, you're psychic, and you know exactly what's going to happen. But it's because you're no longer negotiating with fear. Your nervous system is recognizing safety exists here, even before everything is certain, even before we know the end. So let's bring it all together. So this is why things actually start working. You don't, it doesn't start working because you finally, like, cracked some magical code that you overrode or rewired your subconscious. It actually starts working when you stop fighting yourself. Like, when your body isn't in this constant fight or flight or alarm state, when your decisions aren't driven by, it has to get done now, urgency, fear, or you need some sort of reassurance that it's all going to be okay from the outside. From there, when you're regulated, your choices actually simplify. You can do less, but it's cleaner. You tolerate less, but it's more honest. People are, adjusting. They'll either adjust to you or they'll fall away. And opportunities either meet you or they don't. And in that way, like, there's no drama, there's no story, it's just feedback. And that's how momentum actually builds. It's not from efforting and doing more and, constantly analyzing every single outcome, right? But it's from internal steadiness, neutrality. I'm going to be okay either way. But once you feel that steadiness, you stop wanting to go back to past programs, past beliefs, and past, whatever has happened in the past that, stories. So because chaos, it starts to feel foreign. Like this old urge to question every single move or us over justify every single choice, it does, it doesn't stick anymore. And so if this is resonating with you, if this message is coming across you, it's because you're already on your way there. Like, again, cosmically, we're super supported right now on actually shifting out of the old cycles, the old karma, the old stories, the self-doubt. So we're shifting from what if I choose wrong to I can handle whatever comes my way. I can handle what's next. So 2026 is not, we've gone through the snake year, like we're coming up on the fire horse that actually starts in February. So we're shifting out of that shedding. So 2026 isn't about learning more, it's actually moving, embodying differently. We're less chaos, less reaction, clean decisions, real momentum. So, like because the moment that you actually decide, your body is going to learn that we're safe. And the more that you can decide and do this and put it on repeat, the more it becomes automatic. And that's when everything starts to flow. So y'all tell me, like, what kinds of things are you like, do you feel that kind of shift right now? Do you feel like things are starting to ease up a little bit? Or do you feel like your nervous system starting to calm down? Because the other thing too, like we're kind of in this like weird in between area right now, like where we're kind of like in this whiplash thing. So what's funny about the whiplash, and funny, not funny, I guess you could say, but like we're I call the time in between December and January because we're like trying to get back in the swing of things from all the holiday stress. And, like we don't really know what day it is, like, especially that week in between Christmas and like New Year's. We don't know what week it is. We don't know what day it is. We don't know like if we're supposed to be doing something, if we're not supposed to be doing something. So, this is a lot of nervous system whiplash right now. So right now, we're freaking tired, man. Like we had like this shock that goes through your body, especially from like November, December, like all the holiday stuff. And then, like you are in this kind of like chaos, you can say, where like you're eating all the sugar and all of the things, and you have all of the social things that you had to do, like the Christmas parties and the New Year's parties and the Thanksgiving Day, and like splitting, like if you had to split time between, dad's side, mom's side, families and all the things, people having like parties, work parties, late nights, of course, family dynamics. And then there's all these triggers emotionally. And then, let's be honest, financial overextension. So the holidays actually encourage this overstimulation or stimulation. They're kind of wrapping it up in like, oh, it's a joyful time, and like happy holidays, it's the season for giving and gratitude and love and blah blah blah. And but like you're feeling like you're so overextended that you're just like, can I just get through this, right? Like they're encouraging that overstimulation. Can't say it. Overstimulation disguised as joy. So we buy, we give, we do everything in excess. And, that's because it's our cultural norm. We've been taught and conditioned to do this. Like, I don't know about y'all, but like I feel like the sales are still going on. Like we had Black Friday sales that started at the beginning of November, and it seemingly has not stopped yet. And so I don't know what that's about, but that's like they're just capitalizing on whatever they can, um, and keeping it going. So like there's a shock that we're going through, um, between late November and the start of the new year. And so when New Year's hits, when January hits, basically overnight, we're told we need to get it together. Like, we got to, have our New Year's resolutions, that we need to start going to the gym. So, starting to eat well, no more cookies. Now it's green juice, like no more late nights. Now it's 5 a.m. workouts, no more spending. And, now we have like this big debt hangover that from overspending that we have to catch up on. So it's basically, we're not giving ourselves any downtime. It's like we're shifting gears from like over here to like all the way over here. And so this cues a stress spike. Like, it's basically we do this like 180 flip, and then we're, having to get after it. And our nervous system, like in December, we're kind of flooded with all the feel good hormones. Like, even if we're stressed and we're doing all the things and we don't have enough time to even freaking sleep, we still get flooded with this like dopamine, um, the feel goods, like epinephrine. Like, we do get cortisol, obviously, from all the shit that we're doing, and then adrenaline, because we're like, go, go, go. We gotta, oh my gosh, I forgot to buy this one gift, and like, oh, it's like the one place that the gift was, it's sold out now. I got to go find another one from somewhere else. Like, basically, internal cocktail of survival and chaos. And so, even with like we get the little dopamine hits because we got the perfect gift, or like, um, funny thing, like I buy myself stuff too. Like, I don't rely on other people to get me exactly what I want, but like, when all the sales are going on, heck yeah, I'm gonna buy myself something. But like, it's all survival. Like, we're basically flooding ourselves with all of the things. And then so when January comes, that same system, like, we crash into this guilt and scarcity and pressure. Like, we go from too much to too little. Like, there's no integration time in between it. So the emotional equivalent, like, this is like we're going down the highway at 60 miles an hour, and then all of a sudden we're slamming the brakes. And the real kicker of this, the larger system, the socioeconomic matrix that we live in, it thrives on that. Like, it loves that. You're overstimulated, you buy more. When you're ashamed or depleted, you buy again to self-soothe. And so, like, especially at the beginning of the year, it's like we're trying to undo all this the stuff that we did to our bodies and our systems in that time. And so we want it done as quickly as possible. So guess what? We're going to buy into all the quick weight loss schemes and things, like the weight loss supplements, the 10-minute a day gym program from home, and like whatever it is, the diet plans, the things that are promising these immediate overnight results. And so, like, you overspend on all that, and it's the perfect economic pattern of dysregulation. Spend, stress, restrict, repeat. And so the matrix, like this whole, illusion that we have here, they don't want regulated humans. They want overwhelmed ones. People that are too tired to question why they live in a constant swing between, like this treat yourself and fix yourself, treat yourself, fix yourself. And so your biology doesn't care about any of this. It does not care about marketing trends. It doesn't care about resolutions. It doesn't care if you fit in your skinny jeans. It does not care if you're actually liked or loved or have a perfect relationship and a bunch of money. It only cares about rhythm and safety. So, again, back to the safety piece. Like, if you cannot move from overstimulation to optimization without regulation in between, you're going to constantly stay in this cycle. So before you start chasing the new goals or financial discipline, take a pause here. Like, just, your body doesn't need punishment. It needs a rest. It needs a break. It needs recovery. And so instead of, jumping straight away into the detoxes, give it decompression. Instead of self-criticism, maybe give it a little bit of grace. Give it consistency. Like, pay attention to the messages you're absorbing right now, the ones telling you that your worth resets every January, or that success arrives through strain, or like that you have to prove something in order to be loved. Like, this is not growth. This is the cycle of control. And so real expansion, it happens when your system starts to stabilize, when you bring your body back to that neutrality. And when money, food, and lifestyle choices are made from actually being present in the moment and not panicking, from safety, not shame. So a regulated nervous system, it doesn't, it doesn't impulse spin. It doesn't overcorrect. Like you're at the wheel and you're about to hit a tree and like you do this thing, right? Like, it doesn't run on adrenaline or guilt. A regulated nervous system chooses from coherence. So maybe this January, your resolution isn't another goal. It isn't, starting a new habit, a new morning and bedtime routine, although I do suggest it. Maybe this time is just to step off the collective roller coaster. Stop swinging from overindulgence and restriction, like that pendulum, to find a steady ground between yes and, yes to everything, but, the fix it all portions. Like, this is how we exit the loop. And that's how we start creating lives that actually feel sustainable. So less chaos, less crash, more coherence. Regulate first, and then you rise. So this is exactly what we're going to be talking about for the breath codes. And so I don't know if any of y'all have seen it. I do have an event on Facebook, and also it's gone out by email. So January 27th through the 29th is a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We're doing a 3-day experience called the Breath Codes. And it's basically designed to help you calm your nervous system. So we're going to talk like all the scientific shit. We're you're going to learn. It's a layered learning because you learn best in little chunks and bits and building up to something. We're going to reconnect your subconscious and then create from safety instead of survival. And then we integrate it all with the Healing Day event Thursday night. So, it's to fully anchor you in your body so that you can start creating from peace and power. So, I really hope to see you guys there. I'm going to be dropping the link inside of the chat here so that you are able to join us. But it's exciting. Like, I absolutely love these events. I love teaching. I love talking about it. And I also really, really love integrating it all together in the breathwork Healing Day events. So hope to see you guys there. I appreciate you all for being here, and I love you, and we will see you on next week's call for sure. I will be on a cruise. So that being said, I got the internet package. We will see how well it works, but it may be a little bit shorter of a live next week. So we will see you next week, and for sure for the 3-day event. Bye now. Have an amazing week. Love you all. See you then.